You put $20 into your savings account. You feel good about it for about 5 minutes. Then you go to the grocery store, buy what used to be a normal week's worth of food, and it costs you $187. And you're standing there at the checkout thinking, what's the point? I mean, really, what is the actual point of saving $20 when in a lot of places a decent apartment costs $2,500 a month, when your car insurance just went up another $40, when eggs are sometimes $6 a carton, and when that emergency fund everyone keeps telling you to build would need to have like $15,000 in it just to cover 3 months of expenses? Here's the thing, you're not crazy. Saving really does feel pointless right now. But not for the reasons you think. I'm going to show you exactly why your brain has convinced you that saving money is a waste of time, why that feeling is actually a psychological trap that's keeping you broke, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a simple plan that works even when everything feels impossible. Because look, there's actual math behind this, there's psychology behind this, and once you understand both, everything changes. Let's get into it. So first, let's just acknowledge reality here, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that saving is easy when everything is expensive. That would be insulting. Recent census releases put median household income in the low 80s. After taxes, depending on your household situation, that often leaves people with something in the mid to high 50s actually hitting their account. Meanwhile, the cost of just existing, housing, food, transportation, healthcare, all the basics, keeps climbing. You see the problem. What goes out is catching up to what comes in, or worse, exceeding it. And housing? Housing has become absolutely brutal. Millions of renters are what's called cost burdened, spending 30% or more of their income on housing. Many are severely cost burdened, spending 50% or more. For some people, rent is 50%, 60%, I've seen 70%. And when you're there, saving $50 a month feels completely pointless. Your parents could rent a decent apartment for like $600 a month in 1990. Adjusted for inflation, that's about $1,300 in today's money. Except, depending on where you live, you're not paying $1,300. You're paying $2,500 or $3,000. Or if you're in New York or San Francisco, you're paying $4,000 for a place the size of a shoebox. The numbers don't work anymore, and your brain knows this. Your brain is sitting there going, saving $50 a month is going to take us forever to actually build wealth. This is stupid. Let's just buy the nice coffee. Now you might be thinking, okay, so you're just confirming that saving is pointless. Great, thanks for that. No, stay with me. Because here's what most people don't realize. Your brain isn't making a logical calculation about whether saving is worthwhile. Your brain is making an emotional calculation about whether saving feels worthwhile. And there's a massive difference. There's a concept researchers call psychic numbing. When numbers get too big, our brains stop processing them as real. $15,000 for an emergency fund, $50,000 for a down payment, those numbers are so enormous that your brain just shuts down. It doesn't feel achievable, so it doesn't feel worth trying. Meanwhile, spending $20 on DoorDash right now, that's concrete, that's real. So you spend the $20 instead of saving it. But what you're really saying is, the gap feels too big to cross, so I'm not going to try. Look, I get it. I really do. But this is the trap. Let me show you something that's going to blow your mind. Let's say you save $50 a month, just $50. Most people look at that and think it's not even worth the effort. Like, what's $50 going to do when you need thousands? Here's what it does. In 1 year, you've got $600. Not nothing, but sure, not life-changing either, right? But here's the thing nobody tells you. That $600 isn't just $600. That $600 is breathing room. That $600 is the difference between a flat tire being a crisis and a flat tire being an annoying afternoon. That $600 is the thing that keeps you from putting the car repair on a credit card at 22% interest. Let's talk about what happens when you don't have that money. You need a $400 car repair. You don't have cash, so you put it on a credit card. On a high APR card, that $400 repair can easily cost you an extra $80 to $200 depending on how long you take to pay it off. You're paying extra just because you didn't have the cash up front. With that $600 saved, you pay cash for the repair. You still have $200 left. You don't lose anything to interest. Now multiply that by every single emergency, unexpected expense, and life event that happens over the next 10 years. The transmission, the medical bill, the broken laptop you need for work, the wedding gift, the whatever. People without savings pay what I call the crisis tax over and over and over again. They pay interest on credit cards, they pay overdraft fees, they pay late fees. Overdraft fees alone add up fast when you're living close to zero. We're talking potentially hundreds per year just disappearing because you didn't have a buffer. So that $50 a month you thought was pointless, it's actually saving you hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars a year in crisis taxes and fees. The math completely flips once you factor in what not having money costs you. Okay, but here's the thing. I can show you all the math in the world, and some of you are still sitting there thinking, yeah, but I literally don't have $50 a month to save. I'm not being dramatic. The money isn't there. And you might be right. You might genuinely be in a situation where every single dollar is spoken for, where you're already cutting everything you can cut and there's just nothing left. But for most people, that's not actually what's happening. What's happening is something called lifestyle creep, combined with a complete lack of awareness about where money is actually going. Look, I'm not trying to attack you here, but I need you to hear this. A lot of people have absolutely no idea how much they spend on small things. Small spending gets underestimated because it's spread across dozens of tiny charges. And here's where the expensive everything problem makes this worse. When rent is $3,000 a month and groceries are $200 a week, your brain says, what difference does $12 make? This is all just noise. But it's not noise. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Now, you've probably heard about the latte factor. Some financial guru tells you to stop buying coffee and you'll be a millionaire. And it's annoying because it feels condescending and out of touch. Here's the truth. The latte isn't the problem. The latte is a symptom. The problem is that we've completely lost the ability to differentiate between small, medium, and large expenses. Everything feels expensive, so nothing feels like it matters. This is where I need you to really pay attention, because the solution isn't to never buy lunch. The solution is to understand that small, frequent expenses are actually large expenses in disguise. And when everything feels expensive, you stop seeing them. A $12 streaming service you never use, you've been paying it for 2 years. That's $288. The DoorDash habit where you order twice a week because you're tired, $50 a week. That's $2,600 a year. Your brain has categorized these as too small to matter when they're actually massive. So here's where we get to the actual solution, because you're not going to cut everything fun out of your life. That's miserable and it doesn't work long term anyway. What you need is a shift in how you think about money, and it starts with this. Stop thinking about saving as putting money away for someday and start thinking about it as buying my future self options. Here's what I mean. Every dollar you save is a dollar that gives you choices later. The person with $5,000 saved has options the person with $0 saved doesn't have. They can negotiate when buying a car. They can say no to a bad job. They can move if they need to. They can fix their tooth instead of living with pain. They can invest in opportunities. The person with $0 saved has to take whatever is offered, whatever price, whatever job, whatever situation. They have no leverage, no flexibility, no options. When you save money, you're not just accumulating dollars, you're accumulating power. The power to say no, the power to say yes, the power to make choices instead of having choices made for you. Once you understand that, the whole thing feels different. That $50 you save isn't just $50 going into an account. It's $50 of options. It's $50 of breathing room. It's $50 of I can handle this instead of, oh God, what do I do? All right, let's get practical, because philosophy is great, but you need a plan. And I want you to do something tonight. Step 1, cancel one unused subscription right now. I don't care which one. The streaming service you haven't opened in 3 months. The app you signed up for and forgot about. Find one thing charging you monthly that you don't actually use and kill it tonight. That's step 1, and you can do it in 5 minutes. Step 2, set up an automatic transfer today, even if it's just $10, even if it's 5. Open a separate savings account if you don't have one, and set up an auto transfer for the day after you get paid. The amount doesn't matter as much as the automation. You never see it. It's gone before you can spend it. Do this today. Step 3, track your spending for 30 days. This is where the magic happens. Not to judge yourself, not to feel bad, just to see where the money actually goes. Use an app, use a spreadsheet, use a notebook. Once you see where money really goes, you'll find leaks you didn't know existed. Step 4, name your money. That savings account isn't savings. It's your I can handle anything fund or your freedom fund. Give it a purpose that matters to you emotionally. Step 5, increase it gradually. Start with whatever you can. $10, $25, $50. After 3 months, if that's working, bump it up, then bump it again. Small increases that you barely notice, but over a year, they add up to real money. Here's something that's going to sound dramatic, but I need you to understand this. The trajectory of your entire financial life comes down to whether or not you can consistently save small amounts of money when it feels pointless. Person A says saving is pointless when everything is expensive. They spend every dollar. When emergencies happen, they go into debt. Over 10 years, they're paying hundreds each month just in interest. Person B says, saving feels pointless, but I'm going to do it anyway. After 5 years, they have real money saved. When emergencies happen, they pay cash. Same starting point, completely different destinations. Now you might be thinking, okay, but everything is expensive. Housing costs too much. How is $50 a month going to fix that? It's not. Saving $50 a month won't solve inflation or make rent affordable. It won't fix any of the big systemic issues that make life harder than it should be. But here's the thing, you still have to live your life. You still have to make decisions with the reality you have, not the reality you wish you had. Yes, everything is expensive. Yes, wages haven't kept up with costs. Yes, it's harder to build wealth now than it was for previous generations. All of that is true and valid and frustrating. And you still need an emergency fund. You still need to avoid debt. You still need to create breathing room in your financial life, because the alternative is being completely at the mercy of every unexpected expense, every crisis, every emergency that comes your way. Saving money when everything is expensive isn't about getting rich. Saving is how you stop bleeding. Look,